Hello, my name is Cesar with Acclaim Federal Credit Union. I'm the Assistant VP of Lending, and the only thing I'm more passionate about than saving people money is preventing people from getting scammed or hit with fraud. In 2023, over $10 billion was lost in fraud, 10 billion, which is a pretty penny. And in all honesty, we may not see it as, an industry where people clock in and clock out and to commit fraud every day, but that's really how it's how it's ran. A lot of fraud and scams and schemes, they are well coordinated. They are targeting you. And this is not fear mongering. This is just fact. You are going to be targeted, or you currently are being targeted with fraud on some level, of some degree. So, this whole episode today is to address that to make sure you are well equipped for any sort of fraud scam or scheme or whatever that may come up. So, we're just going to get right into it. Okay. We all know what fraud is. I know within the context of our current audience, it may be that you're being targeted because of certain increased savings and assets. I just want to make sure you know this sort of thing hits everyone from any age group whatsoever. Okay, whether it's the elderly being targeted because of the fact that there's more money with the elderly and there's more isolation. There's also affecting the younger generations, millennials and Gen Z as well. Okay, so talking about one of the first few frauds that do come up most frequently these days is going to be the medical and health insurance services scams. You're seeing frauds there from fake calls offering medical supplies, requests for Medicare numbers, asking for essentially a lot of data. This isn't anything new. A lot of the system is just wrought with sales and services that aren't exactly true. And since Medicare and medical health and health overall is such an issue for this country and is an issue for everyone, really, it's one of those areas where a lot of us we feel the squeeze when it comes to medical costs. And so the fraudster comes along and offers you a pipe dream of a product or a price range or whatever. And just to get that special number where you're saving all this bazillion dollars of money, you just got to give them your social, your information. You got to let them know who your mother's maiden name is or what it is. That is something that's being targeted a lot. So when it comes to fraud, one of the first few things that's going to be your medical and health insurance services. You're getting calls asking and offering certain things to you regarding medical benefits or Medicare, whatever be the case. You need to verify them through the proper channels. And you're going to hear that a lot today. A lot of the times, doing away with fraud or detecting it and being discerning about it is going to come down to going to the proper channels, right? Not necessarily going right to where they tell you to go. Hey, to fix this problem, call this number. Well, if it's a legitimate company, you want to search on them online or get a trusted friend or family member to help you out and find out if that particular company is legitimate. But this is going more to the point. A lot of fraud happens from just simple calling you. That's all it is. It's calling you. It's catching you off guard. It's a number, and I'm not sure if a lot of you do this, but I honestly don't answer phone numbers that I don't recognize. And of course, I know what my credit union number is. I know what my doctor's number is. I have those saved on my phone. But when I get a new number, I honestly wait until it goes to my voicemail, and that's maybe something to kind of help you as well. So a lot of times when it comes to marketing or any sort of item like that, you may want to pick up the phone, but fraud is always going to start out with the premise of I have a great way to benefit you, and you just need to do these simple things, which may or may not compromise your information. So a lot of times fraud happens through telemarketing, phone scams. They may request donations. It may also be one of those threatening calls, right? One of the more popular ones that has been occurring for some time now has been those pay your taxes or go to jail. We're going to send the cops over right now. Uh, the IRS themselves have come out and said that's really not how it works, and it's true. I mean, they have the access to garnish your wages if you truly have owed them money. So the idea that they're going to send you a police officer, it's going to be that's a little shaky already, right? One of the telltale signs of fraud and scams is a sense of urgency. So, whatever it may be, whether it's a limited time sale or offer, or if you owe somebody money and you got to get this paid up, or XYZ is going to happen, the police officers are going to come down and see you. They're going to call the president and let him know. You have to slow down and let them know that you're not going to be pushed around or pressured into anything. The best policy, really, once you're getting a phone call that is threatening to take action on something that you allegedly owe, is to hang up. And you know what your debts are, truthfully. And if you don't, there are sources out there. Contact your credit union to see if maybe they can help you access your credit report and going through those proper channels, right? But if they're calling you and they're saying that you have to do XYZ or else the police officer is going to come down and they're going to tell people, slow down and realize that you actually may be targeted for a scam. One of the telltale signs of scam and fraud is pressure. Okay. Another type of scam and fraud comes from sweepstakes or lottery scams. This is huge. This is really one of the older scams in the book, but you may be familiar with it where you receive a letter stating that you've won a sum of money, let's say 100,000, 500,000, it doesn't matter. But in order to claim those winnings, you have to pay the state's taxes or the federal taxes, whatever. It sounds official enough, okay? But the scam is that they get you to essentially deposit a check that they give you to pay it out or make you write a check from your own account payable to them or whatever could be the case. The point is they want you to pay these taxes up front so that you get the rest of the winnings. And it sounds reasonable because if you're there to win 500,000 and they say, well, the taxes are just $2,500. Well, you're measuring out, right? $500,000 versus 2,500. It's no brainer. I'll just pay my 2,500 in taxes and I'll get my 500,000. And that's the sweepstakes or lottery scams. Very common, right? They want you to pay up front so that you get your rest of your winnings later, only for you to realize there are no winnings. There is no lottery. You didn't enter into anything, and it's all bogus. It's fake. Okay? Remember, if something sounds too good to be true, too easy, it actually may be too good to be true. It may just be fake. So lottery sweepstakes scams, they're requesting money up front. Or they want you to cash a check that they wrote you themselves, and then send the money out by some other way, whether it's through money order or cash deposit or some weird comical way of paying them. It's a fraud. It's a scam. Another type of scam that they have that is also very popular is the grandparent scam. So a lot of this is just imposters claiming to be your child. This is harder for a lot of people to kind of get away with, right? But it's not necessarily impossible. A lot of your details, if you have social media of any kind, they can start to extrapolate data from your online profiles to see if they can pretend to be one of your grandchildren or a relative of some sort, an uncle from two countries away. It doesn't matter. They'll find a way to kind of put themselves in that position. And so you may get calls saying, "Hey, I'm in jail and I got hit with this. I need help right now and you can't get off the phone cuz I'll lose this call and you can't contact me. I need money right now." Slow down and go through the proper channels. Chances are somebody who knows that family member and you can contact them and say, "Hey, is little Jimmy really in jail?" Right? You have those channels there. And if you don't, I really encourage you to go through maybe some authorities, get with your local credit union to kind of discover and see if this particular call is legitimate, right? A lot of the time, this sort of scam where they're trying to establish some sort of a relational familiarity, it's going to come with some level of awareness of that kind of relationship, right? So if you have something on social media, someone may try to be that someone, okay, and work through pressure and threats to get you to pay them some sum of money. And it's to get out of jail, to pay this debt, to whatever it could be. Slow down and go through the proper channels. Contact someone who may know that person, and you might find that they're not actually in jail. There is no immediate threat. It's just another scam in an attempt to get your money. In the same vein, when it comes to fraud and scam that is tied to familiarity, there's also the lover scam or the sweetheart scam. Okay. This is particularly vile because it's a type of scam that is predatory to people. It's predatory at all, but especially for those who are dealing with isolation or loneliness. And in all honesty, in this divided world, it's kind of tough, right? To be able to find someone that you can rely on or have even a friendship with. The sweetheart or lover scam is the type of scam where someone approaches you, okay, in some means of channel. A lot of it, again, is social media. And they show a lot of interest in you. Okay. They start love bombing you, which to love bomb essentially means to just flower, just give a, just shower someone with a bunch of flowery language, a lot of, oh, you're amazing, and they barely know you. You don't even know who they are, right? But they may use a picture. It's probably not them. They're saying all these beautiful things about you. And I'm not saying they're not true. I'm just saying that they don't know you, but they start giving you a lot of compliments and saying a lot of things that just sounds like they're saying the right stuff. Well, that's because it's probably they're probably after your money, right? At some point in the lover scam, the relationship scam, on some level, they will actually start to make requests. Okay, they promise to visit you. Okay, they want to fly out and see you because, oh, you're my love, and blah blah blah. So they'll ask for airline money, right? They'll ask for money to pay down on their credit card. They'll ask for some sort of monetary value of some sort of thing. And if you don't give it to them, then if you actually have established some sort of familiarity with them, which again, I advise you do not do that, right? Then they're going to try to guilt trip you. So the lover slash relationship scam is heavily dependent on you playing along. If you can cut this right at the core, right? And just be that person that says, "Hey, listen, I may think I'm awesome, but you barely know me, and this is love bombing." Then you may actually save yourself from establishing any sort of familiarity with someone who claims to just be suddenly infatuated with you out of nowhere, and they want to connect and hang out and all this stuff. And in most cases, the lover or the sweetheart scam, or whoever is trying to get to know you, they don't live anywhere in your local area. It's always some sort of long distance thing, right? That's what makes it easier for them to not see you. And in all honesty, in this day and age with AI technology and the ability to make fake videos, you don't even want to try to verify if they really are who they are with a video call. In all honesty, if you see someone love bombing you, and this is good for a lot of relationships out there, but that's a red flag. That's a huge red flag. And they're probably, I'm going to say 99% of the time, after your money. Beyond that, there are other types of scams as well. There's tech support scams. This is a huge one. Computer education is not really at the forefront of a lot of our curriculum. A lot of us we learn about computers as we go along. We've some of us grow up with technology. Some other ones we're very new to technology. The tech support scam works on the lack of education we may have about certain things, and even then, you can still be the most well-educated person and click on something or talk to someone who really doesn't have your best interest in mind. So with that being the case, tech support scams they come up with this sort of premise that something's wrong with your computer. Okay, and at that point in time, there is some cause for concern because you may have already clicked on a link or something that lets this person to try to connect to your computer or say anything about your computer or whatever be the case. They're going to call. You may go to a website that maybe isn't the best or doesn't have any sort of protection, and you'll get a pop up. Okay. When you engage in these type of scams, they're going to call you. They're going to tell you there's some sort of issue with your computer, some gobbledygook. It doesn't matter, right? And they're going to try to fix it for you. You just got to give them access to your computer. You got to share your screen. It'd be helpful to know your credit card information for payment, yada yada. And in many such cases, they'll present an issue to you that doesn't exist or isn't real, and they'll attempt to fix it, or even worse so. If you give them access to your computer, they could put a virus or a program that will now collect your data in the background. Okay, so you could be even more even more compromised than you would be otherwise. Whereas you were just given your credit card information, which in and of itself is not good. If they have access to your computer where you keep your documents, your email, your photos, whatever could be the case, you're compromised on an entirely different level. Okay. But remember, you go through the proper channels. If you need tech support, I'm going to say, hey, you know what? Shop local. There's probably some computer store in your area that can help you out genuinely for whatever issue you may have with your computer. But these phone calls or anything else like that, just be very careful. If you have an issue with your computer that needs to be fixed, taking any sort of these calls in because the online atmosphere for tech support, it's rife with fraud. Okay. There's also online shopping scams. And this is hard because we're always trying to find deals, right? You don't want to pay for anything at the price that you get originally. You actually want to get it at a cheaper discount. You want to get a really good deal, whatever. And this is another one too. I mean, we're conditioned now with Amazon, with Temu, with whatever could be the case, to be able to just excuse me. We just want to be able to click, get our product, get our great price, and move along. And that sounds great, but it is again, of course, another area that is rife with fraud. Okay, so the way it works is simply you're going to a website, you're looking for a product specifically, and this website is, let's say they're offering you something that is essentially at an unbeatable price. I mean, it is insane, right? Let's think about it's a 120-inch 4K, 8K Blu-ray Wi-Fi AI connected TV, and it's going for like $80. And you're thinking to yourself, well, it's $80. Well, what they're trying to access is your information, right? But that's just an example. There's more realistic ones out there. I mean, they're going to ask you for larger sums of money, but the point is, it's going to be a product that you just can't pass up on. It's a great deal. Why wouldn't I pay that? And that's what they're counting on. They're counting on you providing that information, making that payment, engaging in that business or whatever could be the case, so that they can fraud you. Okay, and a lot of the times, these prices are unbeatable. But the moment you give your information, two things happen. Number one, you're out the money that you paid for, so that money is gone, whatever sum it could be. And number two, you are also your information could be compromised on a larger scale if you gave them your social on top of that, because they say that in order to process your order, you have to get your social security number. Now that's compromised. Okay. So remember, these scams and frauds, they go much further than the dollar amount that you're getting hit with. And I'm not saying that's something to ignore. It sucks to lose money. But what's going to hurt you further is if someone is able to gain information to you that could be used to open an account anywhere, to get a loan from anyone. These are the things you have to keep closely guarded. And in a shopping scam, because we're often trying to get those items because we love to spend money, and we love to spend money when it's a great price. In shopping scams, they're going to try to get for more than just a dollar amount. 100%. I mean, it's going to be for almost any one of these scams, but this is something that's going to happen. So let's go ahead and talk about some ideal baseline foundational techniques to protect yourself from frauds and scams, right? Number one, never give out personal information over the phone. At Acclaim, we stress this on such a big level. If I'm calling you about a loan request or whatever could be the case, I already know everything about you. But the moment someone claims to be me and says, "Oh, I just need to know your social for this loan application," well, you would say, "Hey, well, you called me. If I have an account there, shouldn't you already know that?" Exactly. So what do? You hang up. You go through the proper channels. It doesn't matter if someone says that they know you, if they're asking for information, right? It's weird. It's strange for someone to call you. Presumably, they already have your phone number and name, and then ask for more information unless you know about it beforehand. And you have to be very careful with it. Okay. So, number one, you never give out personal information over the phone. In all honesty, it may actually be that business is trying to help you out, but you would say this, "Sir, ma'am, I'm going to hang up. I'm going to look up your number on the website, and I'll call back through my proper channel." Done. Okay. Number two, goes in line with what I just said. Hang up on unsolicited calls. Is there a company calling you that you don't really know anything with? You have no account with. You have no business with. They want some information from you. Just hang up. Just hang up. You get called enough as it is, right? It's exhausting. Just hang up. Number three, you verify the identity of anyone requesting money. And again, the best way to do this is to hang up on whoever's calling you and go through the proper channels. This is going in line with those relationship scams, grandparent scam, lover scam, anything else like that. The lover scam, of course, that's harder to do because this is apparently someone that's new to you. But that's why I talked to you about love bombing, right? We're talking about the characterization of how these things happen, right? They don't know you, but suddenly you're like their hope and dream. That's a bit much. Um, But when it comes to someone who claims to be family or a very close family friend, or whatever to be the case, you want to verify the identity of them before you do anything. And the best way to do that is to go through proper channels. My mom called me saying that she needed money for XYZ. I'm going to call my dad or I'm going to call my brother. I'm going to hang up on mom and I'll find out. And if it was actually my mom, then, I'm trying to protect myself, mom, and she would understand, right? But you want to verify the identity. Don't just go with what they say. Next one. Don't send money to someone you haven't met in person. This goes right here for the lover scam. The lover scam, the sweetheart scam, they are across the country. They are in Europe. They are somewhere in Southeast Asia. I mean, if you haven't met them face to face, you don't know them. I'll say it again. If you haven't met them face to face, you don't know them. Keep in mind that we now live in a day and age that videos can just be edited and created with AI. So, in reality, even going for video confirmation is not really safe anymore. And in all honesty, never really was. Okay. They always have workarounds. You never met them, they'll give them money. Next point, you want to be skeptical of too good to be true offers. Am I a bit of a pessimist? Maybe. But I think I'm a realist first, right? I know that an 8K, 4K, Blu-ray, AI, robot, Dream TV, whatever, is not going to be worth $1,500. That's a lot of money for me, but I know that it wouldn't be worth that much. It'd probably be something way out of my price range, like $21,000, and then I'd say, yeah, that sounds about right. If it's an AI TV or whatever. So if it sounds too good to be true, chances are it probably is. So don't buy into it. Just don't buy into it. The worst case scenario, you lose a deal, right? A deal that, in all honesty, is not being offered to just you only. It's being offered to many people. If it's an actual deal, right? Next thing is to shred sensitive documents. Invest in a home shredder. They're relatively cheap. They used to be something that would cost a lot of money, but nowadays, I mean, you can just get one for about $25, $30. You just shred them, right? If you want to be festive, what I do sometimes during the fall season, I get my fire pit out and I burn them. It's the next point. You want to use strong, unique passwords. You don't want to use passwords that you're going to forget, but you need to use passwords that you are going to remember, but are that they have to be a lot better than just password 123, right? They have to be a lot better than just family names, right? They have to be a lot better than birthdays. These are things that can be discovered about you through social media. So if you have a password right now that is in some way, shape, or form something that can be found online on some capacity, you need to change that password into something that cannot be recognizable from, doesn't matter who looked you up or how they found out who you are. They shouldn't be able to guess your password just by knowing your birthday or knowing your son's or daughter's birthday, etc. Okay? It's got to be a strong password that only really you would know. And the next part is to keep your software antivirus updated. This is going to be good for any sort of those tech support scams. Go to the proper channels. There is a lot of anti-theft, fraud protection software out there right now. But again, you're going through the proper channels. You are not going to third-party websites. You are going to the actual site that has this particular program that is going to help you, if at all. Okay? Best way to go about it is get someone who's trusted. You can visit your local tech support store, computer store, and really talk to them about your concerns. And they should have, if they're worth what they got, they should be able to help you and assist you in making sure you're making the right decisions for your technology. Okay. Another point here: you want to monitor your financial accounts regularly. Okay, and in all honesty, going further on that point, please maybe consider moving all your statements from paper statements to e-statements. I know sometimes the online faculties are a little bit difficult for some people, but every single time you insist on your statement being mailed, there's a chance someone can dig to your mail. I don't think that there's people out there who don't have, who aren't going to do that. Sometimes there's people out there with no shame. They'll go right into your trash can. They'll look for those statements and they'll try to see what they can get from it. The best way to protect yourself is to have those statements digitally when they go to your online banking, and then you can receive them within that encrypted online platform instead of it going through the mail, which can be lost, right? With it, the mailing service is not necessarily reliable all the time. Statements can be lost. Your information can be compromised. If you are using paper statements, my suggestion is please move those paper statements to online statements. And this is, again, in the interest of fraud protection. Okay. Next point, don't click on links in unsolicited emails. I get these all the time. I can't tell you how many raffles I've won, how many lotteries I've won, how many Amazon packages I didn't order that are currently delayed. So if I haven't solicited them, and this is again keeping up with what you're doing in your day to day, if I didn't order it, if I haven't asked for it, I don't open it. Delete those emails. Don't click on them. And if you do click on them by any means, immediately disconnect access to your internet and take it to a trusted friend or organization or company that can help you because your information may have just been compromised. Next point. You also want to sign up for the National Do Not Call Registry. I mean, we're all getting crazy calls now. But it'd be better if you can just cut down on the possibility of fraud happening by just making sure you go and sign up for the Do Not Call registry. Doesn't take that long to do it. Look it up, certainly, just how to sign up on that registry, and it'll be something that can protect you from going forward. And last but not least, report suspicious activity to authorities. Look, getting hit with a scam or being a victim of fraud can be on some level embarrassing. You may feel guilty, you may feel ashamed. What I'm asking for you to do is to work through that because, in all honesty, when these things happen and you keep them to yourself, they're going to keep happening, not only to you, but to others. Okay. If you have been a victim of fraud or scams, you need to contact the local authorities. You need to open a case. You have to contact your credit bureaus. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. You can go to your local credit union. Here at Acclaim, I welcome that interaction. Okay. I'm the AVP of Lending. I love to do loans, but if someone comes into my office and says, "Hey, I think I've been hit with a fraud or scam," you've got my full attention. And any credit union worth their salt is going to act the same way. And I'll be honest with you. If you are now going to an institution where you tell them, "Hey, I've been hit with fraud," and they don't care, move your money because I care where you put your money, and so should you, right? So remember, you may feel some sort of way about it. If you get hit with fraud or scam, you may not know. Contact the local authorities, get connected with your banker, okay? And make those moves. Don't let yourself sit in shame or guilt or anything else like that. These things happen to everyone at every age. There is no age group out there that can truthfully relax because they're not being targeted by the scammers. No, they are. It's just going to manifest itself in different ways, right? For the elderly person, they are probably going to be hit with some sort of level of the lover scam or relationship scam or the grandparent scam, or could be anything like that. For the younger person, it could be a scam for a job posting. Hey, we want to give you a job and we'll give you a laptop. It's $80 an hour. All we need is your social, your credit card number, your birthday, and your mother's maiden name. That's weird, right? Any age group at all. Don't sit in guilt, shame, these things that will not help you. Reach out to someone, contact your local authorities, and get with your credit union. And that's all I have for today. So I hope this has been informational. Like I said, we're here for you in the local community, Acclaim Federal Credit Union and 1823 Banking Street. And if you have any questions or anything else like that, please go through the proper channels. You go to our website, which is acclaimfcu.org. Again, that's ACCLAIM as in money, FCU as in Federal Credit Union.org. And we'd love to help you out. But thank you for tuning in and have a great day.